Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. It's fight week. Ryan Wilkirson joins us right now to talk about his upcoming matchup at Fightworld MMA 20. First off, sir, thank you for the time. How you feeling during fight week?
I'm feeling good, man. Thank you for having me. Feeling good and ready, excited for the fights, and we're ready, man.
Second time stepping in the cage. As far as I've seen so far, you really have a joy for competition.
Yeah, that's really it for me. I feel like if I can go in there with someone who's either just as skilled as me or is better, it just makes it a fun experience to throw those bombs and get out there.
And not to mention, just the first time I saw you, I mean, talk about looking at a mountain and attacking it, jumped into a grappling match with Jesse Tafoya. Most of him know he has a pretty high level there, and you just jumped right in and took on that kind of challenge.
Oh yeah, man, I the first time I grappled Jesse, it was at a grapple fest, I think maybe like 9 or 11, and so I knew he had a high level, but it was fun to get back out there and have that as my first kind of sanctioned grappling match against him. So it sets a high level for me to develop on.
Sanctioned. So we should let the fans know. I mean, a longtime practitioner of martial arts, you told me since 4 or 5 years old. So that was more traditional martial arts, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of traditional martial arts. I bounced around from boxing gyms, taekwondo gyms. I found a passion in jiu-jitsu and kind of Muay Thai when I was training a lot through it. It was just something that I really enjoyed, so I just decided to continue that way throughout the
And
years.
what led to this move, getting into mixing it up in MMA?
Well, I feel it's a higher level of dynamic. In Muay Thai, we there's a lot of technique based and it's timing based in the fight. In MMA, it's split second like that. You make a decision and you go to the ground, you stay standing. A lot can happen, and I think that's where a lot of fighting IQ comes from, is that MMA, and that's why I thought I wanted to do it, just so I can develop that a little bit more.
And that's why you thought you wanted to do it. So why
Yeah.
are you doing it now? What has that turned into?
Oh man. I would say it's mostly a hobby, but eventually I'd like to take it somewhere if I can, take it pro or, stay big in Albuquerque because it's my city.
Now, if grappling Jesse wasn't tough enough, I heard after that you called up our great matchmaker with Fight World and said, "Man, I want to get in there with the toughest guy you can sign me up against." Is that true?
I asked him for a pretty tough competition.
So what was that first experience like in the cage?
Awesome, dude. It was a loss for me, but it wasn't a disappointment by far. I threw some good body shots, some good leg kicks, and it was all around fun, to be in there and to kind of feel that energy of the crowd and all of that.
Now, talked about Muay Thai a bit. Was it different doing it in the cage? Because you guys in that first one, there was a lot of clinch work.
Yeah, there was a significant amount of clinch work. We were mostly throwing strikes. I feel that in general, I like to strike more often. Um, you never really know who somebody is until you fight them, and that's the best way to meet them in the cage, and by striking.
We'll talk about you real quick. How do you feel that first experience is going to help you now into the second one?
Man, I feel it kind of gave me a look at what I needed to work on in myself, in my training, how I should change it up a little bit. And I feel that in my second fight, that's gonna affect the outcome of this next one, just the way that I've been changing up my training and changing up some other things, diet and stuff. So
And I've seen the logo on the shirt. It comes up every so often. It's Baka
yeah.
Fight Systems. So we know where you're coming out of. Talk to me about training with them and that Muay Thai base because we know that's where you're getting it from.
Of course, of course. So, man, when I started there, I felt kind of the family vibe when I stepped to the dojo, and it just felt really good and comfortable. They were very willing to take me on and help me train, and it's just been fun. You know, in the 2 months that I've been there, I've really kind of molded with their team, and so that's what I like most about it. It's a place to work hard and sweat a lot, so I get that cardio in.
20 years in martial arts. What has it been about this sport, this culture of activity that has drawn you into basically it being your life?
Um, the level of acceptance in all styles of martial arts. I feel that there's definitely some styles that are very off-putting, um, but a lot of them are very open to your experiences and how you train and the high level of respect that everyone has for everyone else. And really, you practice violence, but you're really trying to be the most peaceful person there. And so I think that's what draws me to it is just the ethics of it.
Now, obviously, we've seen a gutsy competitor in these first two competitions. What are your expectations for now taking on Arturo Granados?
I think that it's gonna be a one for the books. It's gonna be a show. I think that we're gonna stand up a lot. I'm excited to see what he has because I haven't seen much. But I have heard people talk about how he likes to strike. So I'm excited to get in there and get in the pocket and throw some punches and some kicks with him. I think it's gonna go well. You know, it could go either way. It's just the willpower.
Now, real quick, it was the first time getting out there in a fight. You've had a lot of martial arts competitions, but how were the nerves stepping in the cage?
Um, I was a little anxious at first, but then the excitement kind of came over me and I was ready to put it down, you know. The noise got to me, but then once I stepped up to that cage, it was quiet and I was ready to fight.
And we're ready to see you do it again this Saturday. The Fit NHB Martial Arts Complex hosts Fight World MMA 20. Ryan, what's the last message for the fans?
If you're looking for a show, come out to Fight World in Albuquerque, man. It's a fun time. We're a fight city, and I'm excited to put it down.